Okay,
No.
we're we're back
Hang
after
on.
those technical
I need.
difficulties.
Let me refresh. I'm watching on my tablet. Can't be bothered turning the PC on.
Technical difficulties there, much like week one doing this. Fun fact: whenever the game is loading a replay, you cannot uh, pause it. Otherwise, it decides to break it. So that's a bit unfortunate. But we're back, and we are here for race number 2. Ovak winning out in race 1. We'll see how race 2 goes. Race 2 is going to find Wheelman on the pole.
He's on a pole. He's on a pole.
Shout outs. Whoops, don't know why that went to me there. Whoops, don't know why it's still on me. Wheelman's the guy you should be watching. Shout out to Matt, who hasn't had power for 24 hours apparently. That storm must be brutal in the Northeast. One of the biggest nor'easters. God, I can English.
Is it still part? Is it part of Storm Emma that hit the UK a couple of nights ago?
I have no idea how weather works. But anyway.
When it met the beast from the east, as they called it, from Siberia.
The only beast from the east right now is Wheelman, who leads O. A reverse of the
followed by Matt
steps.
Sly.
Yep, Matt in third position here. Nass in fourth in a red Ferrari this time. Some people have changed cars. I believe Matt's car's changed livery, but I believe that's still the Vulcan. As Matt goes for the pass on O here. He has the preferred line, a little bit of touch, all fine, and he's through.
Meanwhile, in last place, hello me.
Oh, Nass has taken his red Ferrari for a little bit of a spin. Again, nothing too unnatural there. Rigera still driving for Italy with that car. And PN Motorsport.
I thought he was driving for Mexico or India or Hungary or...
He would like you to know it's Italy, and PN Motorsport in 6th position. Well, no, now he's in 5th position because NASA's had another sort of half spin. They're not really full accidents, they're just half spins. Race 1 had one caution in the race, brought out whenever Matt and Rigera came together. Wheelman out front as Rigera goes for one there. That looked odd. Let's go back and look at that. Did something cause this incident? He just overcooked it. He misjudged it. He overcooked it. So we'll speed back up and go back to where we were. Rigera back into 5th place. Nass going to make a pass there. Ballsy pass by Nass, who puts Rigera all the way in 6th place. Shotgun did not return in time, by the way, to be included in this race. He was still
He did, but he said it was going to be no fun.
Right you are, Phil. He did say that now that I recall. He did, in fact, say just that.
He went for, this is no fun, and effectively took a knee.
I think that's a completely acceptable outcome. Wheelman still getting hounded by Ovak here, but it was briefly Matt that was hounding them. Oh, a little bit too much hounding, and Ovak's through into the lead. Wheelman recovers about 5 or 6 car lengths behind, but look at this Chav in 3rd place. PN Motorsport has driven his car from dead last up onto the 3rd step of the podium right now.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't last.
That's called foreshadowing, and speaking of foreshadowing, look at all the cars, and look at 2 of them being off in the corner. 3 of them off in the corner because Wheelman was off, and look who's in 2nd place. PN Motorsport, 2nd position, 2 Ferraris out front, leading a Lamborghini.
It's an all-Italy affair. No, wait, Aston.
Yep. Oh, PN Motorsport, a little too overzealous in the corner, and that'll take him all the way back to at least 5th, but he's going to go back to 6th. I think Phil has decided that he's going to go to 6th here, and does. He lets everybody go by. That's a gentlemanly thing to do, and he has done it coming from the Isle of Wales. He knows a thing or two about class and sheep, but mostly class, as Ovac still on the point over Wheel. Right
And T-Rexes.
Matt to third. That's right. Phil has a degree that has to do with ancient history, which is why he gets on with Shoddy so well. Wheelman back to the front of this field. I joke, I kid, but at the same time, I'm serious.
Oh my god, this Mustang is a pig! I'm doing the league races.
Ovac goes back to the point, followed by Matt here in race 2. Second of 3 races. Remember, they're all 30 minutes long. You can tell when the end of the race is getting near by the timer in the bottom left corner of the screen. Wheelman takes a massive hit into the wall there that had to have caused damage. There's no way that didn't. Oh, and there's skids behind him. Nass saves it. Beautiful save by Nass there. And Pian Motorsports driving a Ferrari, so he really doesn't care what's going on too much at this point. He's in a Ferrari. So
he's got a massive grin on his face. I may be last, but I've got a massive grin on my face driving a Ferrari.
It's Ferrari, Aston Ferrari in the top 3 as Reguera's made his way up into the 3rd spot. Oh, let's go ahead and change that. Now up into the 2nd spot as Wheelman, after destroying the wall. A lot of skids, but no accidents there. As Reguera has made his way up into the 2nd position. Ferrari, Lamborghini. Phil, has Ferrari ever... Oh my gosh, massive accident here in the final corner! And has that brought out the caution? Yes, it has. We'll go back and take a Taco Bell Impact replay on that. Wheelman in 3rd. Something happens here. He gets punted. Yes, he does. Matt punts the Wheelman, and Phil drives around them in the grass. As funny as that actually ended up being. We've seen a lot of those. The cars do not brake very well, and that will happen to you. You will get accidents like that, as Wheelman will take up the rear. You can see the way the car's wobbling. That's severe damage. He must have it on all corners. 3 Ferraris now in the top 3. Nasfire moving himself up into 3rd. We'll jump to pit stops here.
I think you can't. It doesn't show all the cars in pit road. Just the car you're watching.
Oh yeah, no kidding. All right, so we're going in for pit
6
stops.
it showed all the cars.
We're going
I've gone back and watched some of my replays from GT6.
We're going in for pit stops. Ovac, Will, and Matt go in. Reguera, Nass, and Phil stay out. Reguera is your leader, driving from Italy. You think he'll unfriend me if I make that joke enough?
Nah.
Reguera,
you're his father, after all. We got back to ARC.
That is an ARC joke from another time. Hard to explain during a broadcast of a race. Anyway, Ovac wins the race off pit road.
Motorsports past broadcast.
And then Wheelman, nothing changed there, and we'll loop around to when the race restarts. So here we go. Reguera is the leader, followed by Nass in the outside lane as they're 2x2, getting ready for the restart. About half of this race gone at this point. As the caution's cleared up, everybody's cleared up, and Reguera goes in for a pit stop, and that actually makes Nass the leader. Nass is the leader, and side by side, 2 Ferraris of Nass and Pian Motorsport. Weird camera choice here by the cameraman, but Matt has made it through the melee with the lead somehow. Okay. we're gonna have to take their word for it. What a weird camera choice that was. That turned out to be. But Matt is the leader, followed by Wheel and O. Reguera has went back to 6th place because of his pit stop that he has taken. Interesting.
You know what that was? That was a
strategy?
A move to get a point.
Oh, sure. Oh, that's right. You guys coordinated that. Matt's car looking a lot more settled than it did in race 1. Admittedly, the thing looked untamed, but if anything, Wheelman's car looks a bit more untamed. Which, I think he likes it that way, if I had to guess. Wheelman now going for the lead on Matt, and he will... more poor camera choices by the cameraman. Oh my god. Focus, you madman. Side by side, Wheelman and Matt, and nothing really gets done there. I felt like PN Motorsport was going to go off there, though he didn't. NASA's driving around, trying to catch up at this point in 6th place. PN Motorsport goes off in the final corner there. That's going to continue to be one of the problem areas for these guys. Reguera, he's caught the tail end of the lead pack now. He's up to 4th, and there's a massive crash up front. Massive crash up front. Wheelman's gone around. Did that bring out a caution? No, it didn't, but we will take a look at that again on the Taco Bell Impact replay. Let's ride on board.
Giggity.
Oh, just a little too much in there. That car, that view from Matt's car, who was leading after that, he just got a little too much.
That was so close. So close to being a caution.
That was absolutely close for being a caution. But it wasn't, and we keep going. Matt, the leader, a little too wide, spins it off the corner, giving the lead to Ovac. PN Motorsport off,
too wide,
almost in self-defense. So now it's Ovac, Reguera, PN Motorsport, your podium. Wheelman in 4th, Matt 5th, Nas 6th. Oh, and look at these two Ferraris going at it here.
At this stage in the race, it's Ferrari 1, 2, 3.
Just a little over halfway, and by a little I mean absolutely minute amount of halfway, and a little touch there. Reguera letting Ovac know, hey buddy, I'm back here and I'm quicker than you.
And then Ovac get the call. Fernando is faster than you. Do you understand this message?
Color commentation provided by Ovac and PN Motorsport in this occasion. Oh, and Reguera goes by cleanly there. It's nice of Reguera to pass me clean in his Mexico car. I mean, Italian car. That's
hungry.
a joke. Yeah.
Anyone that has the same colours in their flag.
Kind of looks like the American flag if you're colorblind.
Yes.
I actually don't know if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure that's not true. Top 3, Reguera, Ovac, and Wheelman now. For those of you
I'm
that
currently running around.
PN Motorsport in the pit road, but for those of you that don't know, this commentary is supposed to be humorous and not factual in any way. Some of it may contain...
Jesse's a father. He's also... His wife is Rey from Star Wars.
What are you even on about?
Ark.
I know what you're on about, but... Anyway. Oh, Ovac goes wide in that corner. That's interesting. Wow, Wheelman really getting after it there. And he takes the spot from O2. Weird, just a slow corner from Ovac there. He got passed by two fast cars right there. Regera out front now, leading Wheelman around. As here comes Matt back.
I'm speaking to you from inside the Venturi tunnel.
This is the best battle on the track right now. What a save by Matt. Absolutely impressive. Oh, he's going to have to do it again. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All of that was incredible by Matt there, as Wheelman's giving Regera, who we learned he wasn't sure who that was when he came back. Regera, of course, a different name than he used to race in the league with.
Infinite Medulla.
He, Wheelman, at this point, wasn't sure who that was, apparently. But, nonetheless, the top four, excuse me, as Matt recovered magnificently from that accident that he had, and Wheelman sideways, but doesn't give up the spot. This is race 2 of 3 at Alsace Reverse in N1000s. They have all been BOP'd, which I think is done pretty decently considering you got three different cars in the top 4 right now. And would appear to be Matt that's gone off in that corner, I believe it was. Let's start Nass here. Look at Nass up to 5th. Now he's challenging, could be potentially challenging for 4th here. Let's think about Nass. He runs his race. Everybody has an agenda, but rarely ever are those people's agendas the same. And Nass's agenda is just to run the race. You know, run the race and take what he can get in the massive skid out of PN Motorsport. And somehow through all of that, Ovax ended up with the lead again. I don't know who gave it to him, but I'm pretty sure Will's going to take it from him. Some comments this weekend were made about the straight lining ability of the LaFerrari in comparison to some of the other cars. Let's ride with Wheelman and get a judge on that. On board with Wheelman. Let's take a lap with, well, not Wheelman, because he's going into pit road. So is Matt, for that matter. On board with Matt now, chasing down PN Motorsport. We'll go a lap with Matt here.
Easy hitbox.
NASFire up to 3rd at this point. All the old tires, no doubt. Getting passed by Matt. Now Matt's all the way back from 5th to 3rd here in just a couple of corners. Just shows you just how hard these cars are actually to drive, as Nass again goes hard into a barrier there.
You don't even have coin toss on.
Do I not? I thought I had that on. Ovac leads over Matt now. Matt, in the course of 3/4 of a lap, has went from 5th to 2nd place. Just to show you how strong that Vulcan actually is. As I'm going to try some troubleshooting. Matt back into the pits here with Ovac and Nass. They're all into pit road. That leaves Reguera out there in the lead. And PN Motorsport in second place, just a little bit down the road behind him. PN Motorsport set a 1 minute 56 second lap. That's incredible. Take that in perspective. Reguera's fastest lap was on lap 2. It was a 1:59.6. That's an incredible time. It's also worth mentioning these races are ran under boost to provoke more close competition, and it seems to work. Reguera out front with what can only be described as the largest lead in this race we've seen. By the time they come back around, there'll only be 5 minutes left in the race, which will likely be 3 laps. There's not been a single caution in this race to this point. A little bit of a off there is going to invite Wheelman and Ovac through. It looks like PN's going to the back here, and is. He just let everybody go before. We've seen him do the same thing in that same corner before. So you go back through the field. Nass in 5th now. Matt up to 4th, chasing down Ovac and Wheelman, who are in desperate pursuit of Reguera, who is up front. You gotta assume at some point Reguera's gonna pit. Is it this lap? It is. It is this lap. Reguera into pit road. That should give the lead to Wheel, and it does. It appears as if Reguera will go all the way to the back of the pack here. No, he won't, because PN Motorsport's in for what is likely the final pit stop of their race. Reguera's out. Here's PN Motorsport finishing up his service. Pay attention.
Without a wing and a pair.
Pay attention there. That might become important as we go back up front. Ovac has taken the lead from Wheel now, as Nass took the lead from Matt just now for 3rd. Nass up to 3rd now after taking the lead, or taking the final step of the podium anyway from Matt. So Nass up to 3rd, Wheelman 2nd. Oh, and Matt has put it into the wall there in the fast section. It's so easy to do when drafting up behind a car in that section to lose downforce.
You lose downforce and you lose all front braking as well. The car's really hard to drive when you're drafting someone.
It's absolutely true. Reguera in 5th place, coming up on these two. Matt off again, but back on. Absolutely difficult cars to drive. Ovac still got himself a tiny bit of lead. They've still not focused that camera in the penultimate corner.
Cameraman's drunk.
I would be too if I had to cover this race. Oh wait, I am covering this race. NASA's done well to keep 3rd here, as the top 5 are all pretty much under a blanket here until that happens. NASA's backwards into the wall in the final corner. Wheelman's into pit road. So is Matt. But Nass won't. Nass will continue to hold 3rd now because of not pitting. He gets out just in front of Wheel here. Wheel, that was a quick stop. Oh, Nass is into the wall again hard. You have to assume at this point that it's tire related.
Tires, fatigue.
Absolutely, could be a combination of all those things. As Wheel,
This race actually was harder to race than it was at the Nürburgring.
I would disagree with you. Well, no, I take that back. I agree with you there.
Yeah, because this LMP car's actually, you know, handled.
front. Ovac still leads. There's no battle going on up front. No reason to show you that. This is where the action is. Around 4th and 5th, Nass goes wide, lets Matt go through. Matt's next target will be Reguera, who was just passed by Wheel. Wheel back up to 2nd place. Ovac's got what I would refer to as an unsafe lead in a boost room. You never want to get too far out in front because you're going to get, it's like the NASCAR effect. You get hunted down, you get too far out, especially when you get a pack of cars like you have here. You got 3 fast cars in a line here, and that could do some damage. They will catch O, and when they do, it could be lights out here, as I think we're going to absolutely start our final lap. Remember, the leader is up the road a little bit. You'll see him here on this last lap, no doubt, when they catch him. I believe this group here has timed this perfectly to catch the leader. But there's 3 cars.
Meanwhile, in last place, it's me.
There's 3 cars and only one of them can win. Matt tries to take the wheelman, can't quite get that done. And we are on the final lap of the race. Last lap in race 2. Wheelman's into the wall and around. That is unfortunate, and that's going to give Matt 3rd place. Nass and P&N Motorsport's going to fight it out for 5th. We'll see if we can't keep an eye on that. But up front, here's O getting hounded by Reguera. Reguera pitted later. Reguera's got more tires. Pitted 1 or 2 laps after O did. Reguera has the advantage here. Can he get around him? Oh, sideways. Both cars sideways, but they hold it. And don't forget about Matt back there. Matt's in 3rd. But he is absolutely in this mix. Ovac gives him the inside lane. That's going to be a mistake. Reguera's going to take the lead from O. That was a mistake by Ovac there. What an idiot. What kind of moron would give somebody the inside lane on the final lap? As Matt's now going to go and attack O, but can't quite get there in that corner. And here comes Wheelman back into it. Wheelman wrecked in the first corner. And he's back in it. Reguera kind of driving away now. Reguera's kind of on his own island now. All he's got to do is stay smooth and calm, 10-4. Video game reference.
Are you having fun out there?
Dropped a hot dog on a fan. And this race is for 2nd, folks. Reguera's won this race as long as he doesn't bend it here. Oh, massive shunt there by Matt. And Matt's going to get it. Matt's going to get it. Wheelman's going to Wheelman understood the rules, and that replay ended. Wheelman understood the rules there. You cannot, and it's stated before every race, you cannot pass a car off the track and keep your position. You have to give that position back. That's corner cutting. Technically, Wheelman would have made that corner longer, but Wheelman, respecting track limits, gave the position back to O. And that's what Wheelman's known for. Wheelman's known for his discretion and valor that he displays. So that was race 2. Reguera winning, Matt 2nd. Ovac 3rd. Wheelman 4th. Honestly, the replay ended before I could see 5th and 6th. So that's unfortunate.
That's me.
So Nass finished 5th and Phil 6th. Absolutely things there.
Not having a good time.
I'm
not having a good time.
At this point, would you say you're not having a good time?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not having fun yet. Is this race 3?
Race 3 about to start here.
Nass on the pole, now with his car liveried. Bam, 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 bam,
I'm trying to solve something for PN Motorsport right here because I didn't hit the save button. I'm pretty bad at that.
Is that your bot?
Yes.
Because you're using Dr. Angrybot.
Yes. All right. So I'm assuming that auto saves and I don't actually have to do anything.
I'll try it in a minute.
Since there's no button, and it does. So there you go. Hopefully
I'm drifting.
Hopefully I set that up for you. Race 3, though, back on point. Race 3, NAS is on the pole for race 3. At this point, as PN Motorsport pointed out, you're absolutely fatigued and you just want to get this weekend over with. If you've had a good weekend so far, you've enjoyed sliding around. If you've not, you just want to not do it anymore at this point. The final race, this could be the backbreaker. Fuel. I wouldn't check yours. I'm sorry. We're playing with Twitch chat here in the booth, and Phil has figured out that he has 10 million or 100 million things of my Twitch chat currency.
Oh, I lost one fuel.
Phil, just so you're aware, I did that 3 weeks ago. I didn't do that just now. All right, so moving on, here we go to race 3. Sorry to keep you all waiting. We are ready to go. NAS on the pole. And immediately gets left by the four-wheel drive car of the Wheelman. Wheel's been the goose and the gander today, and he would like to cap this weekend off with a win. His return back to the Legion League, again missed week 1, but he's finished 2nd and 4th, I believe, at this point, and would like to see at minimum another podium. Wheel out front. NAS has held on to 2nd place, though. So take that for what it's worth early in the race. He gave up the pole position, and he holds it there, too. For more on not holding it, we go back to Matt, who... it has to be that Vulcan. We know Matt is capable of pulling off some stuff, and you'll see that in week 3's recap. It had to have been the car for him, but he's come so close to this point. Oh my goodness, now that was hooking a curb. Matt's off. The local yellows will be displayed in that corner. Worth noting again that as PN Motorsport goes into 3rd place here.
Ooh. Matt rattled that barrier.
He sure did. I mean, Phil, it's not like you necessarily raced particularly bad here, honestly. I mean, you were up in the mix a lot of the time in all 3 races. And that's the thing about racing. It's a fickle mistress sometimes. You don't always get the finish you're looking for.
Yeah, she beats me a lot.
Yeah, but you stay with her because you love her.
Do I, though?
I would say so. So, after lap 1, Wheelman leads the lap, NAS 2nd, PN Motorsport 3rd, Matt 4th, Regera 5th, and where he belongs, Ovak's in last place.
Get to the back. Boy!
I tell you what, let's ride along with Ovak a little bit. Full sound. And that's what it's like. We rode an entire lap there with he went from 6th to 4th, and something massive's happened in the field. It appears as if Nass has hit a wall, but he's come out on the other side. No, that was Regera that did that, actually. We'll go back and take a look at this from the chase camera on his car. Oh no, he was already back here. Never mind. I thought I saw the red car and I thought it was him. It must have been Nass who had a bit of an incident, but kept it going. Nass camouflaged me there. I thought for sure. Wow! Furious racing here. I thought for sure that it was Regera because he came out last. Nass was sideways or hit the wall or something and didn't lose a spot. We call that a ninja crash. You're never really quite sure if it happened or not because nothing changed. Wheelman out front of the truck right now, leading Ovac and then Matt.
My microphone is waiting.
Thank you, PN Motorsport, for the host on Twitch.
As an auto host.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's gonna warrant another Taco Bell Impact replay. What did I just see here? Watch Wheelman miss this corner and look what happens. Absolutely airborne was Wheelman after hitting that hay bale. Ovac, that was just following him now, is taking the lead, and now he's lost the lead because, oh no, they're still side by side. They're going to decide who's going to lead it right here in the final corner. Oh, Matt comes over there a little bit, making sure O's there. He is. Looks like Matt's got him beat into the corner. A little over-under, a little dipsy-do dunkaroo. Matt's around. Ovac's the leader. Ovac wishes he was Wheelman. Wheelman's in the pit road. Nass back up to second. Regera third. Matt's had enough of that. He's gone to pit road. So is the Wheelman. And just like that, you can go in the span of one corner, PN. One corner. He was leading. Now he's fifth. I thought he was going to be last. He beat Wheel out of pit road, and now he's fifth. And that's
Zero to hero.
That's how crazy things change here.
I'm not making any sense. Maybe because I'm bored of being housebound. Whatever.
Nass up to second. We've seen him up here before, holding his own. Like I said, 3 Ferraris up front at current. Regera gets it a little wrong, but somehow saves it, kind of. I'm not sure how he did that. He's probably some kind of Jedi or something. Ovac just had an electrical issue, I'm pretty sure.
Well, some kind of Jedi. Well, his mother was right.
These are inside jokes that the general public aren't going to get, but one thing that has happened here...
Unless they watch my stream.
If you want to understand it, PN Motorsport 66 stream, I'm a dinosaur, and it's a whole thing.
Not just any dinosaur. You're the king. You're a T-Rex. A motherfucking T-Rex.
Something interesting happened here on this lap, Phil. Ovac lost electrical power for 5 seconds, just long enough to let Nass get in front of him.
Was that when your controller shut down?
Maybe. But I'll tell you what happened. It has allowed Nass to now... That was Earnhardt-esque. Nass getting sideways off the final corner, goes through the grass, gets back on the track, leads that lap. I feel like that was legal. He didn't change position. He didn't gain time or lose time. He just was off the track a little bit. But he led that lap nonetheless. Again, these three Ferraris up front, they've changed position, but Matt is probably not going to sit back and allow these
and
Ferraris.
let this happen.
Yeah, if I was Matt, I wouldn't, and I don't think he is. I think he's going to get in there amongst them, as they say. Wow, that Vulcan's still twitchy, constantly twitchy. How he's managed to finish as well as he has with a car that twitchy is absolutely insane, and he's just showing it more and more. P&N Motorsports, 6th place, dawdling around here. He's staying out of trouble. Staying out of trouble and staying in it. At this point, Phil, am I right in saying that you are half asleep?
Yes.
Very late night for P&N Motorsport to make this race. The racing got started later than usual anyway.
I probably was half asleep by now.
I know for a fact you fell asleep about 10 minutes after the race ended. Holy moly! What manner of thing has happened here? Unrelated, but NAS and P&N Motorsport go off in the same corner. I think they were unrelated, though. Pretty sure they were. Matt's fallen back a little bit. Reguera's taking the lead from O. And now it's... and I think O at some point took the lead from NAS. But has since, of course, been passed himself. As they go up through these corners that doesn't have a camera worth of junk. As Wheel gets around O in the Shacken. It's how we say chicane where I'm from.
He actually says it like this.
I don't speak Welsh. Anyway, Reguera back out. Reguera back out front. Wheelman second. O third. NAS right up behind them. P&N Motorsport not too far behind. And Matt, who took a pit stop, is a little bit further behind them. Reguera has a nice lead now. As you see Wheel touching the wall, and so did NAS. Ovac's going to take advantage of that and take second place back.
Mr. Yugatala.
Sometimes you just like to hear the way these cars sound thundering around here.
They were thundering something around here.
There's just, both cars sideways, second and third place there sideways, but they hold it. Only one real, well, I guess you could say two real major incidents so far. A lot of offs, but only two actual incidences in this race. As Ovac's gonna look down the inside of Reguera, thinks better of it. Reguera's gonna give him a lane anyway. Can't get the pass done. Reguera too strong on the outside. All the cars are pretty much on the same straightaway now, Phil. Oh, and that's going to be a couple of hits there for Reguera and Wheel, and that's going to give O the preferred line and all the time in the world. Wheel looks a bit damaged at this point. Ovac to the point now. P&N Motorsport back up to 4th place. Again, he's just hanging off the back of the lead group. How much of that was by design and how much of that was self-preservation?
It was all self-preservation.
That's what I expect. There's week 3, you'll see a lot of drivers that you would expect to see up front using self-preservation society tactics.
We are the self-preservation society.
You get me content ID, I'll kick you in the butt.
It doesn't matter if I'm singing it.
What?
You can sing, but you can't.
Oh, the wall caught P and Motorsport there. That's interesting. It actually caught you. You don't see that very often. You're skidding along there and it just caught you. So you'll go. P and Motorsport go back. P and Motorsport will go back to 6th place. Wouldn't that be awesome if you're watching a footy game, and and they're giving the call of it, and then in the middle of saying, he passes back, and then he gets tongue tied, he just goes, go. Phil's P and Motorsport still doing the thing that he does. Another 156 in this race. Compared to the leader's 159. O's got a 159, Will's got a 158, 157 for Reguera, 57 for Matt, and a 202 for Nass. So, there's something going on there. I think Ovac hit the wall and gave the lead back to the Wheelie Man, as the ladies call him. They call him the Wheelie Man. They're going to be side by side off this corner. Oh, Ovac's going to go for the crossover. He has the lane. Lamborghini is sideways, but O's got it, and he is through. That crossover move, though. And for as difficult as this race was, Phil, a lot of good racing in it. Absolutely a lot of good racing. What a smart racing.
A lot of fields.
Were they? Were they fields?
Yeah, for me.
Oh, okay.
I was not having a good time.
So, Ovac leading Wheelman, and then Reguera your top 3. Matt hanging out outside the top, just outside the top 3. Massive fifth.
Probably at this stage, I was pretty much asleep. It was all muscle memory.
Oh, Ovac almost loses it there on the racetrack. I don't think we've seen a single driver do that, but he almost did it. A little over halfway through this race now. Wheelman has gone for another ride, but that's just as well. I feel like he was pitting anyway. So, Wheelman into pit road. Hard to tell if this weekend's gone the way that he planned it or not. Coming back, it's hard to fully understand or know what his goals were. Perhaps for such a difficult weekend to come back on, perhaps it was just survive. Of course, Wheelman not new to the game. He's played the game since it came out. It just hadn't been able to make any League Cup races until recently.
Until we moved him to... It was until we moved him onto the Sunday night.
A lot of that was that. But we'll go back to 6th place there. Back up front, it's the Wheel and Reguera show. If you've not seen a stream of the Legion Cup races over the past couple of seasons via P and Motorsport 66 or NASFire or myself, this is pretty much what you've seen for the past 2 seasons. The two of these chuckleheads fighting each other.
Father and son.
There can only be one, though. Like I say,
someone's gonna lose their head.
That's not. No, not what. No, I wasn't.
Highlander.
I wasn't making a movie reference there. I was merely stating that there's 6 cars and 5 of them are going to lose this race. I went to the John Madden School of Commentary, and Ovac goes wide there, makes a big old mistake, and Reguera takes a big old lead. Interesting, though, that Wheelman, P and Motorsport has looped it around. There's local yellows out in the final sector. P and Motorsport looped it around, was backwards in the grass and let everyone go before he came back around. Until that point, Will hadn't gained a position there, but now he has. And the leaders are on pit road. Matt does not pit. Matt does not pit. Matt is the new leader, and he's got a heck of a lead. Reguera's going to be out of pit road. Wheelman will go from last to third in a lap. So there's all those positions we were talking about. Ovac will go from, I think he was in first, he'll go back to at least fourth, as Nas and Pian Motorsport are in pit road as well. If it looks like nobody's doing anything to the car, it's because they're putting fuel in it, I assure you. And now, the Aston Vulcan's out front now. Matt has taken himself to the point now, with Reguera second, Wheelman third. Look at that lead that Matt has. Just looking at the times there. Oh, Reguera again in the same spot, lap after lap. Cars go off in the carousel. He's back on, but he's right in front of Wheelman. Let's see if Wheel takes him here before he can get back on his form. Reguera's going to give him a lane. Wheel's going to go through and say thank you very much. Wheel up to second place. Wheel on a mission here. Aston, Lamborghini, Ferrari right now, your top three. Wheelman, again, we stated at the top of the broadcast, in that Venonat, he's sideways a lot, but he said it was by plan. He did that on purpose. 3 cars under a blanket now, coming into the final corner. Everybody minds their P's and Q's. Matt's trying to go in under him. I tell you what Matt was actually trying to do. He was trying to get to pit road. Reguera as well. That'll cycle Wheelman, or Ovac, back to second place. Wheelman still the leader. As these cars now take pit service. See, there's the gas can we're talking about before. It looks like nobody's doing something to the car. It's because they're putting fuel in. Matt had a quick pit stop. He's already back out. Nas comes up to fourth. Pian Motorsport. Okay, the leaderboard kind of glitched on me there. I thought Pian Motorsport was ahead of Reguera there, but turns out he's not. Just behind him, as a matter of fact. Wheelman has a lead up front. You're not missing anything there. This is where the action is. Nas into the barrier. That's going to give Reguera back a spot. Oh, and Pian Motorsport's trying to go around the outside, and I can't find him because the thing's glitching or jumping around. Oh, another hit for Pian Motorsport. This is about the point where I would say you have had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Pian Motorsport fighting to stay awake and fighting his car. Can you speak to how emotionally draining a race like a weekend like this can be as we watch NAS go wide again? Some people threatened to quit the league after this week. Not because of people's driving, just because it eats at you, this kind of race. Again, not missing anything up front. Wheelman still leads O and Matt. Reguera's up to fourth. This is the best battle on the track right now. And if I may be so bold to just say this is the battle to get to the checkered flag and go to a different place with a better handling car and a... We'll take you back up front now. Wheelman leading this race with 7 minutes to go. Matt has come back into pit road. I believe that's twice in a row he's pitted. Could be wrong about that. But that's put Nas up into fourth. And Nas has put himself a little wide, and that's let Matt go back through. And side by side is NASA Motorsport. This is interesting.
Pretty good.
I can't wait to see how this ends down here at the downhill right-hander. Oh, I get so nervous. And I can't see anything because the camera's really bad. There's a car around, and it's NAS. So I'm going to give that win to PN Motorsport on the grounds that he came through there. It's just so, folks, it's so difficult, okay? It's so difficult that to keep your concentration for 30 minutes in a car that doesn't want to be driven around here on tires that are never as good as they were a lap ago. Up front, we see that Ovac has passed Wheelman and Reguera has went through. If I had to guess, likely due to an off by Wheel. Not saying it was, but we've seen that pattern. And, oh, it's got a massive lead now. Surely something's happened to second and third places if Ovac's got such a massive lead. Which, again, in a race with boost, which is what this is never a good thing. And here's a battle between Wheelman and Matt. Matt caught up to Wheel and is challenging him for the final step in the podium. 5 minutes of this race to go. These races are 30 minutes apiece. 5 minutes left. Ovac's in the pit road. 5 minutes to go. He says that's his number he wants to hit. No fuel. No fuel. Enters pit road and exits pit road as the leader. You don't see that ever. You just don't see that ever in the Legion League. Everybody else on pit road, probably, obviously, the likely cause. Reguera back out is second, but gets passed up in the chicane. Matt up to second place. Reguera back to third. Wheelman fourth. PN Motorsport fifth and NAS sixth. And it's game on. It's game on with 4 minutes to go.
Game on.
Ovac's got a ridiculous lead, and that's not good. This is the best thing happening on the track right now. Matt and Reguera fighting for the second position. They're really fighting for the right to go track down the leader right now. Again, this is a M1000 BOP'd race. As Matt goes wide, it's so easy to do that there. As Matt goes wide, Wheelman gets around him as well, and Matt, just like that, one turn. Matt from second to fourth. So Reguera now tracking down Ovac for the lead. Ovac's, he's gone. He's just gone. How is... He didn't take fuel, we know, on that pit stop. But even still, he's way out there. Matt back to third. Wheelman getting troubled from PN Motorsport here for fourth position. 86 that's no longer a thing that's happening. 3 a.m. where PN Motorsport was racing from in this race. It was 3 a.m. at this time where he was in Barbados. So Matt's into pit road again. Matt's with 2 laps to go. Matt's in pit road. He's betting that he can get back up there in 2 laps. There's only the possibility of having 2 laps left. As we ride with NAS, who's going toe-to-toe with Matt. Matt got a little wide there. NAS on the inside. And that moves NAS up to 5th. So Matt's going to have to go from 6th to 1st here to come back and win this race.
Matt's in your chat.
I see.
3 a.m. He must be lonely. Yes, I'm very lonely, even though it's actually half past midday.
Ovac just, I can't get over how ridiculous of a lead Ovac has. I don't quite understand it. I don't know how he's got this lead. I don't know how he's kept this lead for 3 laps this will end up being. But he has. And he has the same equipment that everybody else has because they all pitted together. It's absolutely insane. Reguera's second, Wheelman trying to chase him down. PN Motorsport up to 4th place. Nass is in 5th, and Matt hasn't really made that much inroads in 6th position. I can't necessarily explain what's happening here. I can explain that though. What happened to PN Motorsport? I can explain that. That's bad brakes. That's bad brakes and a tired driver. And that'll happen to you nearly every time.
If it was you guys behind, I would have nailed him. Wait, what? Little spacing.
Once again, PN Motorsport is a lawnmower. That's a $1 million lawnmower he's using. Nass up to 4th position currently. Wheelman, this is the last lap, mind you. This is the last lap that this entire group is on. Wheelman has chased down Reguera a little bit. You see Ovac in the yellow car going through the screen to the right. Last lap, whoever gets back to the checkered flag here will win it. Tussle in the back as Matt's gained a spot. Believe it or not, this still isn't over. Anything can happen. And trust me,
and it usually does.
Absolutely, indeed. Right there is what I'm talking about. On the last lap, Reguera bends it into the outside wall. That let Wheelman go. That battle that had been going on for 2 laps now has now been resolved with Wheelman taking the spot from a crashing Reguera. So Wheelman up to 2nd. Wheelman probably has the fastest car in a straight line here. Can he use it to get, because he's just up the road. Oh, he's just up the road now. You can see him now. I'm getting so excited. Anything can happen. It will happen. Some of these cars 4-wheel drive, some of them rear-wheel drive. Reguera's recovered and is now challenging Wheel again. Here we go, the final corner. Can Reguera get Wheel here in the final corner? It looks like, unless he wrecks it, is going to win his 2nd race of the weekend. Reguera through cleanly. Reguera through cleanly, and they're going to come to the line. Wheelman off the track there a little bit. Reguera takes 2nd. Ovac with the win. He wins 2 out of 3 on the weekend. Reguera gets 2nd place, and Wheelman another podium. Matt gets from 6th to 4th in 2 laps. PN Motorsport 5th. And Nass finishing with style. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been whatever this has been. That was week 2 in the Legion Cup from GT Sport. And after that week, the points at the top were tied. Ovac and Reguera had 94 points apiece, I believe. Ovac wins the tiebreaker by virtue of having a single solitary extra win over Reguera going into the 3rd week. It's absolutely insane racing, and once again, we'd like to thank all the drivers that took part in some form or another. It was absolutely crazy, and I think a lot of us, Phil, we're just happy for it to be over.
To be gone, Bob.
Absolutely correct. Do you have any final thoughts before we close out week 2?
My final thought was...
That was his final thought. My final thought for me was I had a great weekend. I won 2 out of the 3, and everybody was mad, but they weren't mad at me, so I didn't care. Anyway, we'll see you next time for the week 3 race, which you can very clearly see was at BB Raceway, and we did them in Group 3 road cars. We'll see you then.